Now for this next flow, we're going to go over how easy it can be to be able to be notified whenever someone sets up external Gmail forwarding and being able to take action if needed. So for this example, we're going to use a different trigger. We're going to be using the Google activity trigger. So essentially here you select a certain activity that you want to track, and Zenphi will start the flow whenever this happens. So we're going to go ahead and set up our connection to Google Audit. For application name, we're going to go ahead and select user accounts. And for event name, we're going to select this one, user queue all, or if you wish to filter it, you can change it to just a couple users. Maybe you have a team that you want to be able to check this for example. Now, if you have questions on the event names, we actually have a link down at the bottom where you can find all of the different event names, so you can click there. And on the left panel, if you go to user accounts, which is the one that we're using, essentially we're using this event, which is going to notify out of domain email forwarding enabled. However, if you prefer to use a different event, you can do that. There's a ton that you can choose from, and obviously there's different categories as well. So I would highly suggest looking through all of them to see what else you can automate there as well. Now, essentially what's going to happen is this audit call is going to bring in different parameters, but we're only interested in one, which is this one called email forwarding destination address. That way we have the exact email that they set up that forwarding rule to. So essentially, to be able to retrieve just that one email, we're going to use the query collection to be able to filter out the parameters. So here in the token picker, we would open up parameters. You can select them. There's a ton. It's actually a collection of a ton of different parameters, but we only want just that one. So here in filter, we're going to put when item name is equal to, and then I'll go ahead and paste what was here. And then what we're going to do is select first item, and now we're going to go ahead and notify IT. Now if you want to swap this task out for just an email, maybe you want to go ahead and remove the access altogether. However, I decided to opt for a task. That way they can decide if we should delete it or not. So to do that, we're going to use the assign task. You can set up your task with as much information as you want. So here I'm adding their email, the value that we found, which would be the email that's being forwarded every single email. If you want to add any attachments, expiries, you can set that up as well. Feel free to. And now, depending on if IT actually approves the request or not, we're going to take different measures. If it's approved, we're not going to do anything because the forwarding rule has already been set up. However, if it was rejected, we want to make sure we disable it. So to do that, we're going to use this handy action here. It's called delete forwarding address. You're going to need a service account connection, so you need that admin privilege. Once you have that, we just need to indicate the user email, which is essentially the person who set up the forwarding rule. You can find this in the trigger. So if you go to actor, you can get their email here. And here in forwarding email, it's the person that they actually set up all the forwarding to. So essentially this value is the one that we filtered. So you can get it from the query collection. It would be this one here, the value. And now for the last step, we're going to notify the user that it has been disabled. So we're going to use the send email action. You can set up the email in whichever way you want, and you can add as much information here as needed. Here, essentially, we're just letting them know that it has been disabled, but they can reach out to IT if they have any further questions.